Alvin, when I say the name Vince Carter, what first comes to mind for you?
Ooh, man. Uh, First, hell of a player. I guess hell of a player, but it's so many other things. He's so many other things, but hell of a player. But when you peel back the layers, there's so much that goes with that. But the first thing, I was just hell of a player.
What made him so good, especially out of the gate? I mean, bursting onto the scene the way he did as a rookie. What was it about him that made him, as you say, a hell of a player?
You know what? I don't know. I mean, of course, the obvious is there. Very skilled, athletic as hell. I think he caught everyone off guard. I think he really caught everyone off guard. And to me, it seems like, and I never seen anything like this in my life, but the other players seemed like they were fans. They wanted to see him do things. Like, I've been on the court when he's dunked on people, and the other teammates were like, "Oh my God, did you see that?" Like, and I'm like, "Yo, that's your teammate that just got embarrassed," and they're like laughing. So I don't know. I can't even explain it. I got a chance to play against Vince in college. I saw talent. I didn't see that. Even in practice when he first got to Toronto, like, it was nothing to me. I don't remember anything special. And then the game would click, and then he would just do something you never saw. So I really can't tell you what made him so good. But, with everything being said, had a high IQ at a game. He had a very high skill set: shooter, passer, handball handler, athlete, all those things. He had the whole package. So I think all of those things, with the other players starting to be intimidated, didn't want to be embarrassed, and more of a fan, I think all those things tied into him exploding on the scene the way he exploded.
I had a chance to chat with Antonio Davis this week on a radio show, and AD was saying, and I'm paraphrasing some of his words, but part of what ultimately made Vince successful early on as well was maybe the core that he had around him, because he had not just yourself, Charles Oakley, AD, Muggsy Bogues, Dale Curry, D Brown. The list goes on of so many complementary pieces around him and guys that ultimately had his back that allowed him to be able to do what he did and have that freedom to roam on the court and go at guys, as you just spoke about, in the manner at which he did.
Yeah, no, facts. That's something that, Vince, even he admit to that. And, even Doug Christie. Doug Christie used to push this guy, right? He pushed him, and Vince just had the backing behind him, the veteran guys, and his character allowed him. He invited that. He embraced that. He embraced being pushed. And the other thing I'll say, man, and we didn't have the greatest relationship when I was there, but Butch Carter. I think Butch Carter was a key factor to Vince's development early on. He held Vince accountable. Like, he didn't give Vince any days off. He pushed him. Vince had to be a hard. He did the same thing for Tracy. And it's no coincidence that those players developed at that rate that they did. Yeah, they had the leadership and they had the vets behind them. But I will give Butch Carter a lot of credit, because he was there. He was their head coach at the early stages, and I saw it firsthand. He pushed them and he held them both accountable, but especially Vince. And I think that you got to give Butch Carter that credit as well.
Al, I don't know what the number or what the split actually is, whether it's 50-50 or more, 75-25, 90-10. It seems like most Raptor fans have kind of come full circle with Vince, and those that didn't like the way that he left town, they've forgiven him. Most of them. Again, I don't know what the number actually is in terms of the split, but in spite of the no dunking and whatever else, you talked about it a moment ago. From his athleticism to his high flying to his 3-point shooting, his mid-range game, his handle, his passing skills, his rebounding, he just seemed to have so many different tools in the bag to bring out. And it's what maybe kept him in the league for 20 plus years, the ability to adapt and to change and to morph his game from star to role player. How did he do that? And how did he manage to stay so important and so viable in the league for so long?
Well, I think his character, right? I think, him being a selfless type of guy. And you'll remember, that even when he was killing with the Raptors and he would get interviewed after the games, he would always say, it's not just about me, it's my teammates. When we were out there laying eggs and he'd have 40 points and I have 2, Antonio have his 15, Oka have his 3, like, and we're out there, no one's making shots at some points of the game, and it's like Vince needs help. Vince needs another score. Vince needs this. But Vince will always say, my teammates help me here. It's not just about me. So he was that guy who always had it inside of him. He was that guy opposed to, like, you see like a Kobe Bryant or like an Allen Iverson or, even like a T-Mac or some of these guys that they're so good and they carried their teams as go-to players. When it had to shift a little bit, when they weren't as quick and they weren't as fast and their roles weren't the same or the team was taking a different turn, Vince could always adapt. And I think that started with what he had inside. He's always team first. It wasn't never just about him taking over a team or being the leader of a franchise. And those are the things that you realize later on. And those are the things that, when you talk about the fans and people coming full circle, those are the things that are most upsetting because of the way he was treated leaving out. I'm not saying who was right or who was wrong, but, when you're an athlete, you're a human being. And you go through certain situations in life in your career that make you say, do things differently. And no one knows behind the scenes. Like, no one really knows. But it was disappointing to see that. And I got a chance to talk to Vince, and he was saying how hurt he really was, right? He couldn't really express it too much, but he was really hurt by, the way he was perceived during that time. And I even told him myself, I wish I had been a better friend to him, during that time. And it was one of the moments where I had to reflect as well. But going back, I got off on a tangent, but going back, Vince's character and his selflessness allow him to play so long in the league.
Al, I know my answer. I'm pretty sure I know yours. Vince Carter, Hall of Famer?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, without a doubt, man. I think the longer he played, the more he solidified himself. And you see Vince, for a while, you might look at him being damn near a journeyman, Sacramento, Phoenix, Dallas, Memphis, Atlanta now. That, he went, you never probably saw a player with that impact early on, go to so many teams. But I think that also showed the type of person he is, the type of commitment he is, the type of selflessness he had, and also what he does now, man. He's a mentor. The same people, the Oakleys and all these guys that helped him, D. Brown, that's who he is now with the Atlanta Hawks at the end of his career. So I think that definitely solidifies him as a Hall of Famer, because not just what he did individually, what he actually has done for the game and for the young people that's going to be great players in the future for the NBA.
All right, so 20-plus seasons in the NBA, about 3/4 of a decade with the Toronto Raptors. For all he did for this team, for this city, for the country and the development of the game, I say his jersey hangs in the rafters in Toronto one day, but maybe that first honor is bestowed upon Kyle Lowry for everything he's done, and as a reigning champ, the number 7 goes up before anybody else. But A, do you agree with that mentality, that theory? B, do you believe that the 15 should be hanging in the rafters one day?
No, I believe it should be bronze, right? I like, just from all the things you said, he gave an opportunity to a Canadian team. We all grew with him, the fans, the media. This whole thing was all new to us, and he gave us that opportunity to grow. Now, the veteran players, they've been through this stuff already. These guys played with great players before, but for myself and, the fans, was new. He grew this franchise. He grew this country. He grew the sport in this country. And Kyle Lowry, that's my little brother, man, and love him to death and what he's done. But no one will be able to do what Vince did because of the inception, what he did. And I'm not taking anything away from Damon Stoudemire and these guys, because they were great players as well. But Vince Carter put Toronto on the map, put Canada on the map as far as basketball. And I think that has to be recognized at the highest level, in the highest form. And I don't think Vince should have to wait to whenever Kyle is playing at a high level. I don't think he should wait to when Kyle finishes to be acknowledged. So I think it should go right up there as soon as, Toronto or the team feels is the right time.
Al, thanks for the time today. Stay safe.
Thank you, man. You as well.